You know, this is something that people are very well aware about because it's spoken about a lot nowadays. But it's spoken about to the point that's become a cliche. So no one really takes it seriously and no one really talks about it because it's become a cliche. But I truly believe this is extremely important. And a lot of the problems that we have in our personal lives is because of this. And that is, we don't talk to ourselves. Throughout our day, we talk to everyone in the whole damn world. We talk about everyone in the whole damn world. But what we don't do is talk about ourselves to ourselves, right? Because what happens is today's world, like the world we live in, right? It's extremely fast paced, right? You shoot a text, you order something, it comes in 10 minutes. Well, if you're not in India, it comes maybe in a day or two. But everything happens super fast, and when everything's happening super fast, sometimes we need to take a minute to slow down. We need to take a minute to pause and to really think about what's happening. Otherwise, life just goes by us, and we don't even realize how far we've come, or like the small checkpoints we've gone through, right? And when I talk about talking to ourselves, it's not just about what we should get for lunch or how you're feeling for the day. It's really about where you are in life and what you really want to achieve, right? So it's in the sense where we need to hold a positive image of ourselves in our mind, right? Because if we talk shit about ourselves, the whole world's going to talk shit about us, right? But if we hold a positive image of us, we start behaving in a positive way. We start being more confident because we think highly of ourselves. Now, of course, people are going to talk shit about you no matter what you do, right? If you do something, there'll be people who'll say against you. If you don't do something, there'll also be people who are going to talk against you. So people's opinion is rarely ever important. Now, there are very few people in your life whose opinion actually matters to the point where it should influence the decision you're about to make with whatever it is you're going to do, right? Be it an investment, marrying someone, dating someone, getting a job, or whatever, eating something, or going out for a movie, whatever it is. Sometimes we tend to not do things we want to do because of what others have to say about that, right? And I think that's a pretty stupid thing to do. And this is something I've realized a long time ago, right? Because people have always had to say things about what I do because I tend to have a loud personality sometimes, which kind of can get annoying or whatever, right? But anyways, people always throw their opinions at me, and I rarely ever let it bother me. Like for example, when I was in college, I used to get made fun of for the outfits I was wearing. Now, I wasn't gay, but I used to be called gay. I used to be called a faggot or whatever, like because I should dress flamboyantly. Of course, I don't dress like that anymore because maybe I've outgrown it or what. But at the time when I used to dress it, when I should like tuck my shirts in or fold my sleeves up or not fold my sleeves up, whatever it was, people had something to say. Oh, like you look like this, you look like that. Why did you wear this? You could have worn that. You could have worn this. But what I could have said? Well, look at your outfit. You look like a fucking sack of potatoes. But you don't see me saying that, right? Because it doesn't matter. What they wear doesn't matter to me. What I wear doesn't matter to them. But there are people complaining or commenting on everything you do. So all I'm saying is, when people throw all these sorts of negative opinions and thoughts on you, it's very easy to be disheartened and get upset, right? Because end of the day, in today's world that we live in, it's all about the validation, right? It's all about what other people think about us, the society, and the traditional beauty standards and all that shit, right? So Instagram, for example, the whole premise of Instagram has become followers, likes, comments, the validation you get from others, right? So the problem with numbers is the problem with followers, likes, comments, and all the shares you get, the saves your reel has, all of that is because the thing is that it's numbers and numbers never end. So what you're really chasing is an endless goal. Now let's say you want to become an influencer. Now you'll post regularly, right? Then you get 10K followers, 20K, 100K, 200K. But where does it end? Because let's say you reach 500K or 1 million followers, right? And then you do something stupid and then your account gets taken down. Your whole life will come shattering down. Take that girl Charlie something, the girl who dances right on TikTok. She said something stupid, and a lot of backlash was faced by her because of what she said, and it impacted her so negatively, right? But take Kanye West for example. He's another crazy guy. He's got a lot of followers, but one thing he didn't do is change. Like he says what's on his mind, and very very unfiltered to the point where he might need to consider filtering it. But it is what it is, right? What I'm saying is they have reached the point where they can say what they want to say without letting others' opinions affect them, because the true end goal, right, is to be content by yourself and with yourself. Now, if you build a personality, or if you build your life based on someone else's validation, thoughts, and opinions, you are setting yourself up for failure, because God forbid someday you stop getting that validation, your life is over. What are you going to do then? Right? Keep chasing validation, change your entire personality just to get someone else's validation? No, that's absolutely stupid. So, what we need to do is take a step back, think to ourselves who you want to be as a person, what you want to become, and what you want to do, and then act according to that. Now, a very simple way to do that is think of someone you respect. And once you think of someone you respect, just behave or pretend to be that person, right? So when you do that, you tend to automatically move, act, and think in the way that person would. That person, someone you respect. Now, let's say, for example, you respect Elon Musk, and you're a very lazy person to begin with. You procrastinate a lot, and you basically get no work done. But if you respect Elon Musk and you feel like you need to bring changes in your life, you will automatically start moving, thinking, walking, talking like Elon Musk, and you realize that every second counts. So you will not waste any time in your life from that moment on, because you are pretending to be Elon Musk. And I'm not saying you will get a billion-dollar company or multi-billion-dollar company, but it's a start. Making use of your time, being productive, and being mindful of what you're doing with your resources. Now, resources are not necessarily money, or where you're spending and all that. Resources is just your own time, right? Because time is really precious, and if you're wasting time, then you haven't realized the value of life, because we are alive only for 70 years, and this universe has been there for our earth has been there for like 13.5 billion years, and we are like a blip in this whole damn life. So we don't have time to think about what others have to say. We don't have time to be worried about this rubbish, games like politics and teams and siding with each other. Like all of these games, right, have been set to put us against each other. Now, let me give an example. Let's take the Democratic Party and the Republican Democrats. That's what the American parties are, if I'm not wrong. Now, the Republicans think Democrats are idiots. The Democrats think Republicans are idiots. But guess what? Both the sides are. Do you really think? Okay, let's say India, for example. BJP and Congress are the biggest parties here. Do you really think that Congress is the only corrupt party, or BJP is the only corrupt party? Both parties have corrupt people. Both parties have good candidates. Now you can vote for who the fuck you want, but unless you're like really poor or really rich up there, what your opinion is, or how your life you live really doesn't matter. So stop worrying about these small things that ruining your day, your energy, and your mind every day, because end of the day it does not matter. It's just a distraction from what your true purpose in life is, and what your purpose in life is not something for me to say. It's something for you to find out yourself. So until you find your purpose in life, hold a positive image of yourself in your mind and act according to that image, because every single day people will throw their opinions at you, right? And now I'll give you two examples. Let's say I have a very negative opinion of myself. I'm a very anxious person. I have social anxiety, whatever the fuck like the new trend going on is, and I'm very conscious of how I look and how I dress and what others have to say about me. Now, if I think to myself that, oh, I'm ugly, like I should, like I'm too fat, or I don't look good and all of that, and then someone says something negative, that will shatter my sense of reality, or that will shatter my sense of myself, because their opinions are dictating how I should feel for the day. But if I was someone who was extremely positive, who was extremely at peace with who I was, and if I was dedicated to my goal already, then what others say have no bearing to my life and my goals, because I already know where I'm headed. I already know what I'm working towards. So someone who just happens to be a passerby in this long, or rather very short life I'm living, I'll realize that it really doesn't matter. Now, let's say, for example, a couple days ago, I spoke about how I wanted to become a salesman, right? Now, obviously, it's not a very glorious career, because everyone hates salesmen, right? But if you don't realize, the whole world runs on salesmen. If it wasn't for salesmen, Amazon wouldn't have been there. If it wasn't for salesmen, Tesla cars wouldn't have been sold, and so on, right? But anyways, salesman is not a very blue collar job. Of course, when I was studying for this very important exam, I was supposed to go into the world of finance and all of that. But things have this natural way of taking course, right? And I realized that's not somewhere where I should end up. And I was always conscious about how I would be perceived if I was a salesman. Because in India, especially when you talk to relatives, aunts, uncles, neighbors, grandparents, they ask, "Oh, son, what are you doing in life?" And if I say I'm a salesman, they'd be like, "Oh, salesman? What do you sell?" Because sales used to be a career where you'd see these guys carrying bags and going door to door knocking and selling some rubbish product, right? But anyway, that's not how it is. And I've honestly never been happier than I am right now. And all I'm saying is the reason I am happy is because I did not let the thoughts of others or the opinions of others affect my decisions in my life. So, bottom line is, I hope you guys realize that too and have a very positive image and have a very positive conversation with yourself, because your mental image you hold of yourself is the most important opinion you'll ever have about yourself. Others' opinions of you rarely ever matters. Honestly, it doesn't matter at all unless it's someone very close to you and someone you trust a lot. Only then it might matter, because they don't take criticism from someone you wouldn't take advice from, right? So I hope you realize that. I hope you stay true to yourself, and I hope you stay real.